We're back celebrating the Charlie Hunchwell Art Stars Scholarship Award winners, theater category this time. And joining me to help celebrate Caroline Howard is Eugenie Bondurant. How are you?
Doing well. Caroline, how are you?
I'm great.
She's great. She won.
I know.
I'm so grateful.
Go Team Caroline.
Thank you.
So, Eugenie, can you talk a little bit about the process that you used to choose a winner, and then ultimately why Caroline was that winner?
Sure. The process is we have a lot of wonderful actors who submit, and we've asked for them to submit two contrasting monologues that equal up to 3 minutes long combined. And contrasting means one is different from the other. We obviously know what that is. But anyway, and so we ask them to frame it a certain way and label it a certain way, and also include their information, their resume, their theatrical resume, also recommendations and tons of other stuff that they've gotten from teachers and people from school and references outside of school, just to get more rounded person, so that we know who we're looking, we're watching, who we're observing what they're doing. So what I do, I don't know, maybe it's different from anybody else, but I like to watch what they do first. I don't want to read anything about them. I know who they are. I know their name, because one of the things that I've asked, which I think is one of the most important things, is for them to do a slate. And a slate is just saying your name, but also saying something about who they are. And that is outside of this business, the entertainment business. So, or, art. Who are they? I mean, are they double jointed? Do they have sisters or brothers? I mean, what do they do for fun? Do they have a favorite book? I want to know what's going on in there. I want to know what's on that other side. What's fun for them. So I watch the slate, which is a separate file, and then I watch the two contrasting monologues. And then I go back and read the references. So that's how I typically judge. I also have a category spreadsheet that I've created over the years. I find that a lot easier, because if I can break things down into, am I getting a feeling for this talent? Is that talent really in the moment? Am I believing what that person says, and what does that look like? And what are the nuts and bolts of it? Am I getting a feeling that the character isn't just starting now, that actor isn't just starting now, that actor has a life, that character has a life before they start speaking? And do I get a feeling that I can ask that character anything at this moment, and they'd answer truthfully from their perspective? So that's very important. The moment before, the moment after, who, what, when, where, why, like, where are they? Who are they? With whom are they speaking? Why is this so important right now that they say what they say right now? Who, what is it? What's the urgency? Because usually when you have a monologue and you have a piece, whether it's from theater or film or television or whatever, there's a reason. You don't just, like right now, you just asked me, what is my judging process? I have a reason for saying that. So the same with the character. And so we've got to feel that as well. So who, what, when, what time is it? What time of day you're going to act differently, and why, where is so important? Are they creating that feeling in there? Is that essence there of where they are? It can infuse the piece with another dimension that you don't put your finger on. So that's the answer to what I do in regards to my process. And Joe, I think the question was why Caroline?
Yes. Well, that's part two to the question, and that's going to make part two all more impactful, to know how much you put into part.
Okay. Caroline is a very special performer. First of all, she's a triple threat. So you don't see those coming along very often, let's just say. if you close your eyes and you listen to her, well, it's one thing when you watch her, that's another whole thing. But if you close your eyes and you listen to her, you really believe what she's saying. You really believe she's in that moment. She's there. She has something to say right now. It's important. And I'm not going to let you go until I finish it. And so that's very important to me. If I can close my eyes and feel like I can have a conversation with her, or I mean whoever that character is, then yes. And not only that, Caroline's this superstar um, who's gotten terrifically good grades, who has another whole life outside of entertainment, who's been taking college courses while she's been in high school, and pretty much could have graduated, what, a year and a half ago, Caroline? Or maybe actually did about a year and a half ago. And she's 17. I mean, how could you not say yes to this girl? I mean, she really, by far, was the top of, and there were tons of really good people. And I'm judging and I go, oh my gosh, Caroline's in there. It's like great. So yeah, that's Caroline. It's really Team Caroline as far as I'm concerned.
That means so much.
Caroline, I'll let you react to that. How's it feel to be so appreciated, to be called a triple threat? Tell us about the experience
Oh my gosh, it means the world. Like, I'm so grateful, and to hear that from someone like Eugenie, oh my gosh, it it means everything, and it's so validating. So thank you.
And she's not nice at all. You can
Well,
tell.
and when you were talking about those criteria, who they are outside of the art, and I'm thinking, most of the big stars are trashing hotel rooms and divas and stuff. Like, are you looking for those qualities, or are you actually looking for the nice, the quality, good grades and integrity and all that stuff?
You won't find that here. I'm a
Don't
good
get that. No, no hotel room. So let's talk about your process and your craft a little bit. So Eugenie mentioned that you gave the feeling that you were in the character before you started reading the lines, and how do you attack getting to be a character?
Sure. So basically, I mean, everything that she said, I kind of infused, who am I talking to? Why am I talking to them? What do I need from them? Just different things like that. So, not necessarily like, oh, I'm going to say this line with this tone and then this, you know what I mean? If you have all of that infused and if you really build the character up, then the rest is kind of easy. You can just be, if that makes any sense. But just doing your homework for sure, and then letting the rest kind of unfold. That's kind of how I approach it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I love even the additional perspectives Eugenie brought, as far as if you're in that character, what time of day is it, right? That's so nuanced, and you might be a different person after a long day at work versus in the morning. So obviously in school and things like that, the roles are somewhat limited to what they're producing, but as you can start to choose more of your roles and the type of work that you do the work you want to do, what kind of work would that be?
I mean, I'm really kind of open to anything at this point. I am just really focused on getting the tools I need, as many tools as possible, and then whatever comes my way, sure. I'm not picky, so kind of I'm open.
That's great. And with this award, there's obviously some money that comes along with it, moving into higher ed. So, what are your plans for the next couple of years?
So I'm going to the University of Alabama, and I'm studying musical theater. So I'm super excited about that, and there's a lot that goes into it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that and spending the next years kind of just really training. What's really nice about Alabama is it's a conservatory style program within a big university. So as mentioned before, I'm definitely a nerd. And you know, I love academics. I'm definitely a perfectionist when it comes to that. So yeah, I'm going to spend the next 4 years just training and hopefully, as I said before, gaining as many tools as possible and just learning, soaking it all in.
That's great. Well, given that you're just starting on this journey, I'd love, Eugenie, if you've got any additional words of guidance as she embarks that you could share?
For the first time this year, all the judges came together to discuss. We have a new leader, Celeste. So we weren't discussing Celeste, but we were discussing our picks and our top picks. Usually in each category, you'll have um, 1 to 3 standouts in a category. In with each of the categories. And so I was last to go, and I've told this Caroline this story. So you know, so we're on the Zoom call, and here I think it was Helen that had said, I have this. I'm I'm really. It's tough. I've got this one girl, and she's so good. I've got this other girl that I really like, but there's this other girl, and she's really standing out to me, and she just is pulling way ahead of the crowd. And so what Celeste was trying to do is find out whether there were any overlaps or conflicts. If someone had, and give us guidance. So if someone had picked one and then had that other person had, maybe that talent had submitted to other categories. And so Helen said, so Celeste says, who is she? Caroline Howard. Well, I was like what? It explode. And so I try to keep quiet and keep the lid on it, which I'm like, cool. And so then the music coach, the vocal performance. So I like to hear the performances and not look at the students. Sometimes she does that. That's how she does. And she said, all of a sudden, I felt like this this performer was just telling me the story. It just, I was so moved by it, and it was really the story that was so important. So Celeste says, well, who, and I'm really conflicted because I have all these others and I have her, and she stands out. She stands out. Who is she? Caroline Howard. Doing it again. Like, don't take mine. That's mine. My category. So that's what a standout Caroline is. Just want to say, go on record with that. So, word of wisdom. Gee whiz. Have as much fun as you can and make as many mistakes, Caroline, as you can, truly, because that's how you learn. And you flub up and you get up and you go, oh, it was horrible. And you go through this pain. It's like the butterfly becoming a butterfly, right? And so you go on, he's trying to get out of the cocoon. Well, be in the cocoon and push your way through. That's really, and those mistakes you can always laugh out later. I mean, I've made so many mistakes, Caroline, that I turn around and go, oh, thank goodness I did. Because, it really adds to the richness of, the other things that I get to do. I mean, it adds to my performance and my life. Anyway, you'll have a blast and it'll be great. And, I'm always here if you need me.
And as I mentioned to the last winners, there is a small clause actually in the scholarship that you actually have to come back and stay in Tampa Bay permanently once you graduate. You're not allowed to leave. But I do think Alabama's a good. We need a little cooling off period because it sounds like there was almost some fights amongst the judges over you. So maybe it's best to just head out for a little while and then come back to settle permanently when you're done.
We'll take a break. Take a break.
Yeah. Time out for everybody here. Okay.
I will say, Alabama is I'm an alumni of the University of Alabama. So, roll tide.
Roll tide.
No comment.
That's what my family says. They're Gators and Tennessee Vols. So
now that you have a posse behind you, I think I'm just going to stay quiet because I don't want Caroline's army after me. So wonderful. Well, many congratulations. It seems almost well deserved is an understatement given the story that Eugenie just told. So well done, being so so well regarded in so many different areas. And we'll look forward to seeing you continue your work and grow and do great things and celebrate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.